So welcome everybody to the Magic Eden podcast. I'm your host. My name is Akash, but in Web3, I go by Nifty Degenerate or Nifty for short. I've met a lot of you IRL. I got doxxed recently, and it's been fun. I'm kind of out of the shadows a little bit, but still in the shadows is my guest, the legendary Magic Eden intern, Warbucks. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you for having me. I'm honored.
Dude, absolutely. No, so like a little bit of background, like this is like a revamp episode of the podcast, right? Like as we've scaled, like we're kind of like shifting focus on channels, right? Like I think we're heavily focused on Twitter, which is where you come in. And so we're trying to kind of revamp the podcast. And so this is like our first episode back. And I thought it'd be very fitting to have everybody's favorite intern from crypto Twitter grace us with their presence. So I appreciate you joining us, man.
Thank you. No. The pleasantness all mine.
Nice, dude. Nice. No, I'm excited. This should be fun. And so just full disclosure to everybody listening, like I'm a tad nervous, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, I feel you.
Right, dude? We're in the big leagues now, buddy.
You know? Right? I mean, how does it go? I'm going for that whole Frank the God's luck discount Frank. So
I'm not gonna lie, you look just as badass, if not more badass. So shout outs to Frank, by the way. That's a sick
shout
look.
Out to Frank.
yeah, man. And so yeah, full disclosure. I ate some chicken nuggets, I took a couple shots of whiskey, and then I drank a coffee. So we're either gonna have what I think will be a great podcast, or I'm gonna puke. So either or, we'll figure it out midstream if I have to leave. We're fucked. It is what it is, though.
Full disclosure on my end, it's 5 a.m. I just had an amazing cup of tea, my brass knuckles cup.
That's awesome.
So I'm ready to kick some ass. Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, shit. Okay. I like that. The tea is like a little bit more mellow of a caffeine hit than coffee, right? So I'm glad. You're probably not jittery. I'm ready. I'm fucking...
I'm serene. I'm
Let's
at peace.
Go. I love it, dude. So I guess like before we jump into like what I think are amazing shitposting skills, like I'd love to kind of hear about your background a little bit. Like how'd you get into the space? What were you doing before that? Like talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm someone who's kind of been all over the place. I just graduated university or college, as most of you know it. So I'm still pretty young. Really am an intern, I guess, intern age. But yeah, I have a pretty rich history in just dabbling in a bit of everything. My first experience with crypto was like back in 2019. It was literally my first internship while in college. And since then, I have raised I started a nonprofit based in Asia. And when I was 19, I raised a couple million Hong Kong dollars. And so this docs myself, I'm in Hong Kong. Yeah. And that landed me in like Forbes's radar. So Forbes turning under 30. So I went to the conference that summer, and I met all sorts of like great people, right? And it's insane when you see these demigods on magazines and you read about them, they sound perfect, but when you actually meet them face to face, then it really humanizes them in a way where you see that they're just kind of making things up as you go along, and that gives you inspiration that, hey, if they could do it, so can you. And that kind of gave me inspiration to start something of my own and try an experiment, which I definitely did with a couple of startups. Admittedly, they didn't go so well, but they gave me the experience I needed to shitpost, of course, because I try to be charismatic. Absolutely, but the experience in the professional world gave me the connections I needed, and now here I am. So I came across Web3 during one of my startup conferences, actually, because we graduated an incubation program, and I just fell in love with it immediately, and I started posting about it all over my socials, especially Solana NFTs. I started out with just 12 SOL. I turned it to about 600 SOL in around 2 months. So that was like, okay, yeah, that was like, oh, what the fuck moment.
So you trade well. I don't trade well.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. No, thankfully I trade well.
That's awesome. Okay, yeah, I was like, I really wanted to get into the space, and like I kind of found my niche as a community manager, but I trade like shit. So I don't do like the short-term trades. I, as a community manager, I get into communities and I stick with them, and then I'll buy like blue chips, but that's about it.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's the whole kind of journey. I started off as a good trader, I was really just looking for those quick flips. And, you mint as many as you can, you flip as many as you can, you just take profits, right? When you're
Right.
fresh into the scene, it's that excitement. But the longer you stay, it just seems like you mint less and less and you hold more and
Mhm.
more. It's like it becomes about accumulation instead of just, it becomes about JPEGs, not crypto. That's how I would put it, right? It's
Yeah,
about the
no,
community.
absolutely. Right, right. Like which NFTs are you holding compared to, okay, how much soul can I flip this into?
Exactly.
Right, right, right. No, okay, that's a good way to put it. So I guess like it sounds like you jumped right into Solana. Did you have experience with other chains or?
Oh no, I was broke. I'm poor, so I went straight into the poor chain. It's like, okay, what's affordable to me? Solana's affordable. Let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah. Oh,
I'm not
wow.
gonna I'm
Okay.
not gonna pay crazy money for Ethereum. I don't want that gas fee stuff.
Oh, dude, yeah. So, like, a little bit of background about myself. Like,
Hmm.
I also had, somewhat humble beginnings. Like, I was getting into NFTs, and I unfortunately started off with Ethereum, and I like I had bought a few different, very cheap, very very cheap projects, and made some profit on them, but like again, not very much. These were projects where like the cost of the NFT was equivalent to the gas price that you would pay. So like
Hmm.
imagine it was like $180 NFT,
Oh,
and then the
nice.
gas would it'd be equivalent. And this was back when obviously Ethereum was quite expensive, about 4, 5, 6 months ago.
Hmm.
And so anyway, I started off, with similar beginnings, but I didn't have the, I guess, the foresight to jump into Solana, or I hadn't heard about it yet. So I'm playing it around in Ethereum, Mechaverse was like the big mint for me. That, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, Crypto God, who's also a community manager with us, him and I both won the Mechaverse raffle, the whitelist raffle essentially.
Oh, that's
And
sick.
it was a huge deal. We were both on the phone together, and like we're like live refreshing the raffle page, and we both got selected at different times. But the issue was I didn't have it was like I think in US dollars around like $1,500 to be able to mint. I mean, this was like I was
Yeah.
broke too, I was like broke. And so it's funny because like I went from that, and then obviously like I flipped my Mechaverse, and I was like trading, but I went from a guy who like couldn't afford, this $1,500 to at one point there was like a wallet analyzer they'd come out on Ethereum, and it was like very popular on crypto Twitter. So I thought, why not? Like, let me take a look at it. And at the time, I forget what the ETH price was. It was somewhere in the 3,000s. So it had calculated out that I had spent close to 12,000 US dollars
Whoa.
on gas. So, just going from that to being able to mint, and then being able to spend 12K in gas. It's just, it's kind of crazy. And like,
Hmm.
when I think about it now, it's like, man, like I could sure use that 12K. Like I wish I had just jumped straight into Solana. So yeah, you did the smart thing. You skipped, I guess,
Thank
like the
you.
learning curve that many of us had on other chains. And so I applaud you for coming into the good chain first.
Yeah, no, thank you. It was just because I was exposed to this one particular NFT called, I know it's not a particularly popular one right now. It's called Monkey Kingdom, but it
Sure.
was
I'm
huge in
familiar with
Hong
it though.
Kong. Yeah, it was
Okay.
quite huge in Hong Kong during, November, December. So we're just talking about, 6, 7 months back. And that was when I first dipped my toes into NFTs. So I was immediately just exposed to the Solana ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went out to, evaluate the pros and cons of the different ecosystem, different blockchains, that's when I realized, okay, Ethereum has its advantages. There's no doubt
Absolutely.
about it.
Sure.
But it just seems like the Solana ecosystem was just so much more, you know, new and fresh, and there was room for me to grow in, as well as perhaps make a bit of an impact within the ecosystem, whatever it may look like. Whether
Mm-hmm.
that's blue chip still being accessible, or perhaps trying to join a growing organization like Magic Eden.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I saw the opportunity. That's where I dove like right head in. But yeah, like going back to your question, um, I was posting about it all over my social media, and turns out I had the marketing lead from Magic Eden on Instagram,
This is.
Theophana, right?
Oh,
Tiffany, yeah,
okay. It's diff. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Oh, very
So
cool.
her and I go way back. We've been friends for years, Instagram followers for years. She's good friends with my older sister. So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh, very cool.
small
Okay, I
world.
didn't know all of this. So, and for our audience, I work with Warbucks. We're on the same team. We're on the marketing team, but I've never gotten a chance to do like a face-to-face. I don't know much about his
Yeah.
background. So I'm actually really glad to be talking to you about this, man. Like this is so interesting. Okay.
No, pleasure's
So
all mine.
you guys are kind of know each other kind of outside of the space a little bit as well.
Yes,
And,
actually, Tiffany advised me on one of my startups. I hit her up for some advice based on her previous professional experience.
mhm.
So she just saw that I was getting into that whole space, Solana ecosystem, but she didn't, at this point, she hadn't told me that she was a part of Magic Eden, right? But she knows I'm using it religiously every day, but she doesn't tell me she's a big part of it.
Oh,
And
Tiff, that's
and she
funny.
just kind of like tests the waters, like, okay, so what do you think about our platform, or what do you think about our social media, and ask me a bunch of questions. And thankfully I gave the right answers, which landed me right here, right, to be able to try and grow, help the company as well from within, instead of just being an outsider looking in. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got started, how I was picked up from the Instagram herd. So thank God for social media.
Yeah, man. No, that I mean that really is it connects people because I mean in a similar vein, right? Like I think like Emmy had heard about myself and my team through
Hmm.
Discord, right? We were kind of making waves
Yeah,
in the community management space
legends.
and they stop it. No. But yeah, and that's how they reached out to us. So no, yeah, social media is such a powerful tool. And
Yep.
obviously like it's kind of our bread and butter too. Like we really have such a voice within the community, and a large part of
Hmm.
that is obviously Twitter. So I think it's so powerful to like stay connected with our community, especially because like something that drew me to Solana as I started dipping my toes into it was just how small the community is. It's so tight knit. Like you can really get to know like the players in the space very quickly. And like a big point I used to try to drive home when I was a community manager, and this was obviously like the whitelist grind meta days, and it's still going on, but it was like I genuinely want you guys in this chat to get to know each other. And it's not like, hi, good morning, like what'd you have for breakfast? Right. And then like you
Yeah.
disappear for a few hours and you come back and you say hi. Like, that wasn't it. I was really trying to stress the point that like, hey, we're very early, and the people that you're interacting with are going to end up being some of the major players in this space. I just know it, right?
Hmm.
And it ended up being true. I mean, a lot of the people that in the first projects that I was CMing, a lot of those guys, like they're whales now. Like they've outpaced me, and I don't have a bag or anything like that, but still, like these were guys who are like, who had to whitelist grind pretty consistently to try to flip up to some of these blue chips. And they've got big bags now. And I'm like, dude, like I called this, right? Like I knew you guys were gonna be somewhat influential in this space. And I think like a lot of that has to do with just how small and tight knit the community is.
Yeah,
And so
that's very well
obviously like
said.
Twitter is just a great way to be able to connect with that community. So yeah, shout outs to social media, man. Like
Shout out to social media. Thank God
yeah.
Zuckerberg did one thing right.
Yeah. Yeah. Zuckerberg. Oh man. I love it. It's funny. I have notes here. I'm like, okay, I need to ask him about the sins of his past chain. But you don't have any. You jump
No,
straight.
I dove right in to Solana and
No, that's
the
incredible, man.
purple.
Let's go. Let's go. Um, and so like, okay, I guess like we can jump into the shit posting then. Like you have legendary shit posting. And I've mentioned this to you just like, in our workplace chats. I'm just like, dude, how are you so quick-witted, right? It's like a very quick-witted, snappy thing. Like, and it's also very thoughtful. It can be thought-provoking depending on like what you're replying to, or what the tweet or whatever is about. Like, and I think I remember seeing that you like practice in the shower. Is that like what like yep, I remember the slide deck, right? So
Yep.
is that how does that help you? Like I really, as someone who's like kind of slow, right? Like I'm
Oh,
not dumb. I'm not no.
yeah.
Hold on. I'm not saying I'm dumb. But for me, it takes time to think about stuff. So like I'm not quick-witted, but I can come up with something that's reasonable as far as like a response or whatever goes. It just takes me some time. So as far
Mhm.
as like how to be quick-witted and how you're such a great shit poster, with the snap of a finger, you're replying and it's just so incredible to watch. I kind of wanted to like understand where that comes from. Is it something you worked on, or it could just be a personality thing, right? I'm just curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, no, first off, let me just say thank you so much. The
You're a
compliments mean a
legend,
lot
bro.
to me.
I love you, dude. Like you're a
Thank you. I
legend.
love you
And
too.
again, like this is echoed by the community. People love Magic Eden Intern, right? Magic Eden Intern, like you're incredible. So yeah, no, absolutely, man.
Thank you. Yeah. So full disclosure. Okay, for context first, what you're referring to, what Nifty is referring to in terms of the shower inspiration was what I did a couple weeks back. I gave a company wide, so Magic Eden wide presentation on how to improve your shit posting, how to up your shit posting game, because thankfully it's become somewhat iconic over crypto and NFT Twitter.
Absolutely.
And one of them was, of course, how would you frame it as a shower argument? So there I was saying, how sometimes when you try and you try and come up with a comeback, right? But then you can't in the heat of the moment, and then you go to the shower at, the next day or the day of, you're just like, oh shit, I should have said that. That would have been a badass comeback.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so that's like the moment you want to avoid. And so going back to your question, the way I sort of tackle this is just a lot of exposure to a lot of degens and jokes. So again, one more thing, I have never operated Twitter. I have never made a Twitter account before crypto and NFT Twitter. My personal has like less than 1,000 followers, man.
Oh goodness, dude! I would have, if you had told me that, like I wouldn't, like if I had thought you had like questionable reliability, I would have been like, nah, he's lying. That's incredible. That's incredible. No way.
So when Tiffany and the rest of the team first handed the company Twitter to me, obviously they had concerns because I at that point had just like what 30 followers, never put out a tweet myself, but I just wanted to give it a shot. And I'm very, very thankful that they gave me the opportunity. So the way I really source my content is I have had this ritual, right, for the last 10 years. I may get some heat for this, but I go on 9gag every night before sleeping. I know not everyone's a fan of 9gag.
Oh my gosh.
It is my bread and butter for my meme content every night. Yeah, some say, okay, we copy it off of Reddit.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Pause. It's funny because Crypto God, again, bringing him up. Crypto God is another community manager. You guys might know him. The audience might know him. Crypto God, when I've known him for years too. So he used to send me like, this is so bad. I'm an asshole, by the way. He used to send me like 9gag memes just because he's a good friend and he wanted me to see it. And my like asshole self would just be like, dude, I saw this on Reddit already. Like.
Not grateful. He saw a meme and he thought of you. Yeah, it's romantic. I know. It's romantic.
No, it's so thoughtful. And like I would just shut it down. I'm like, dude, I saw this on Reddit already. Like, fuck off.
Yeah, see, I get that a lot too. Yeah. I get that a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so you get inspiration from 9gag. Okay, very good.
Yeah, I mean, of course, that's where the most shitpostiest of shitposty, wit comes from. It's not the 9gag posts themselves. Any self-respectful 9gagger will know that the best jokes are in the comment section, right? It's not the post, it's the responses that you go for. And apart from that, like as cheesy as it sounds, just watching TV shows or movies with like quick-witted characters, like growing up. So, because I just graduated from college, so I'm pretty young. Characters like Tony Stark or from Iron Man, right? Marvel.
Sure.
Or Harvey Specter from Suits or Bobby Axelrod from Billions. Like these kinds of characters that are, of course, flawed in their own way. By no means should you idolize them. But that sort of like quick-wittedness is something I looked up to growing up. And I tried to sort of implement that within my life as much as I could. That did not bode well for me in high school drama, though. I'll be very honest. Teachers don't appreciate that.
Yeah. Oh,
I did a lot of people, but it was fun. It's hilarious. Looking back, okay, of course, not every joke should be made, not every thing should be said.
True.
But you learn. You live and you learn. So, but thankfully, by the time the Twitter was handed to me, I had learned, my limits, what I should say, what I shouldn't. And in the very beginning, of course, it's just kind of like testing the waters because it was a very, very friendly account. Tiffany created a very fun, community engaging voice that still was very reflective, a brand that was truly in touch with its roots. But what I wanted to create was something that would go underground,
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
we
Which is,
just
again, it plays well with
Mhm.
the Web3 community, right? It's like
Yeah,
very, yeah.
exactly. And I just wanted to make it iconic, you know?
Hmm.
Um, everybody talks about the Wendy's Twitter. They
Right.
are they are, it's they are known by their
Mhm.
social media
Of course.
presence.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's the kind of work that I wanted to do. I didn't just want to be some random social media manager who just posts on time and is fun, but
Yeah.
rather just try and, take something and make it your own and just kind of like, overkill is the brand. So you do as much as you can.
Yeah, man. No. And again, like going back to like I think I mentioned like it really does take a special person. Like um I think it's a personality fit too, right? Like obviously it seems like you kind of put yourself in a position to be good at this. I mean, you idolize quick-witted people. So, you kind of work towards this your whole life almost, right? Like this is
Yeah.
great. But like at the same time, like I think like it really is like a personality thing as well that like sometimes people ask me like, hey, like, like your success as a CM, like, how'd you do it? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, it's really hard to describe, right? It's like it's a lot of soft skills. It's tough to put
Hmm.
like on like a resume. Like really, like for me, like I like to say it's just like high energy, degen energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No, I
uh,
mean the work you and your team does, it's insane. We see about it on Twitter. Insane customer service. You guys really know how to rile up a crowd. You're absolutely right. These aren't things that you would write up on paper,
right.
but it is reflected in the growth of the community. You've grown the Discord to insane numbers, and
Thank you, Pierre.
everybody
We're
talks
trying.
about you guys. So let's fucking go.
No,
Magic
I
Eden
love it. No, I
Marketing
love it,
Squad.
dude. Emmy marketing gang, bro. Like we're doing the thing,
Hmm.
No, it's good. But yeah, like, and so like, when things get challenging, when there are unfortunately issues with the site or whatever, like how do you approach that? Because I feel like you do it in this way where it's very similar to like our approach where it's like we understand you and we feel for you and we apologize, but at the same time, like we're not gonna let you abuse anybody,
Hmm.
on our side because we're human beings and we make mistakes and that should be okay. You know what I mean? And so like I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing that up because it's very relevant from
Yeah,
what's been happening over
of
the
course.
last couple of weeks,
Yeah,
right?
it's been tough, man. Yeah, absolutely.
It's been tough.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh, um, I think you can kind of okay, number one, I just want to say the whole ecosystem, like any person's or organization's journey within Web3 is a fucking roller coaster, right?
Yeah,
That means
of
it's got
course.
ups and downs, and the downs are the fudders. So the
Right.
fudders are a part of the ecosystem. They
Of
hold us
course.
accountable. So
Hmm.
we can't hate them. We shouldn't shun them. We
No, no,
should
absolutely.
actually thank them. So shout out to all you guys fudding us
We
on
love you.
Twitter. All right, we love you. No, thank you
No,
because
and
that'll
again,
just Mhm.
flutters is kind of a broad term, but I've encountered, I think the majority of people are genuinely trying to voice their concerns and their feedback is constructive. And so to those people, again, like hats off to you. There's just a very small number of people who are like very abusive, right? And I think those
Yeah.
people we take a little bit of a harder stance with. And I
Mhm.
think you've done a very beautiful thing where you're like very delicate with those kinds of folks while also being very kind and
Yeah.
understanding
Thank you.
people who have genuine concerns.
Just like you characterized, right? Some of them are very constructive
Mhm.
in their criticism, in which case, okay, we go in, we listen, and we say, all right, we apologize for the experience that you faced, but
Mhm.
thank you so much. We'll work on whatever it may be, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, right?
Mhm.
And other times when it's just pure hate or pure, I guess, comparison with other marketplaces or platforms, at that point I have a little bit of fun. So whatever way it might be. If it's a grammar mistake in the hate, then of course the first thing you do is you fix their grammar because that's just so fun. Or you just, you know, you try and make a good thing out of a bad situation. So if there's like a lot of FUD going around, I just go around posting devs doing something because everybody says devs do something, right?
Yeah,
Why don't
sure.
devs ask devs to do something, make devs do something? It's like, all right, devs doing something. But when they take on the role of hating the
Mhm.
Magic Eden intern and like, why are you shit posting? Why aren't you working on your servers? Like, I'm sorry. All right, let me, the marketing guy,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
and work on our AWS servers. All right, let me just
Oh
go.
my
Like,
right.
that's just funny. In which case, yeah, I start having some fun with those
Yeah.
kinds of comments. And at this point, I've become, very. I speak of quite a few languages. English, Cantonese, Mandarin, And obviously now ratioing is something I'm very fluent in.
Oh my gosh, that's good.
Dealing with all
Yeah.
this FUD.
Hey, you
So
are
yeah.
fluent in it, man. I watch it happen, and it's like it's like a piece of art, you know, because it's like
Oh,
sometimes it's close, right? The ratio, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get there. He's gonna get there, and you know you surpass, and it's just this beautiful moment.
thank you. No, I mean, it's insane. We started off from
Mhm.
ratioing influencers with these nuts jokes to ratioing fudders for their hate. Now we ratio massive marketplaces, even the ones
Yeah.
that might be bigger than us, to
Mhm.
the point where there are articles written on the ratioing. So it's
That was a
hilarious.
fun
I've loved
day.
this. Yeah, I've loved this journey.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And by the way, just going back to the presentation that Warbucks had made for the company, there was a slide dedicated to D's nuts jokes. So
Hmm.
shout outs to Warbucks. I mean, that's definitely
It's
something.
it's a huge part of maybe not Ethereum or NFT or crypto Twitter, but
Sure,
Solana Twitter.
sure,
We love our DN jokes.
we do,
One
man.
one way or another, everyone engages in them, and it's just so fun.
Yeah.
Especially during these trying times when,
Mhm.
all right, a lot of us, are having some difficult times with NFTs, crypto, our portfolios being in the red, some more
I'm
than
broke.
others, of course. Yeah, I feel you.
I'm
I
broke
feel you.
again, man. I told you, humble beginnings. Well,
My
I'm
my
back.
my portfolio's in red. I'm wearing a goddamn red hoodie to, symbolize that.
Yeah.
So,
And Solana's down, by the way, today. So yeah, it's just a fun day. It's been a
it's a
fun few
fun day.
weeks.
It's been a fun but yeah, it's just nice to see the Solana Twitter coming together, just cracking these harmless jokes up, on
Yeah,
one another and just, brushing them off. Nobody's taking them
of
personally.
course not. Yeah.
So it makes for a very like, going back to what you said at the very, very beginning, you get that close knit, tight knit group
Hmm.
that's just appreciative. That's yes, my bags are different than yours, but at the end of the day, we want this whole fucking ecosystem to succeed.
100%.
And that's what matters most.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you mentioned this a couple of times. Like you talk about the fun that you have, the fun, you know, that the overall space has, especially on Twitter. Like I think like a big part of your success, and I think what like resonates with a lot of people is like they can tell you're having fun. You know, and I think that, like it's a wonderful thing to see because like again, it's not always easy. There are trying days, but I think through all of it, you know, you're still having fun, and I think that's so important. And I think it's like it definitely plays to your success, you know, as far as like being everybody's favorite intern.
Yeah, no, thank you. It is fun. I enjoy it. My girlfriend may not say the same because I'm always on Twitter now,
Right, yeah.
but
Oh
but
man.
yeah, I mean, you got to keep your ear to the ground, right? And
Sure.
where's the community voice right now? It's either segregated over a lot of different Discord servers,
Hmm.
or it's on Twitter where everybody's tweeting, everybody's adding at us, whether that's love, hate, constructive feedback, whatever shape, a form it may take. So it's important for us to sit there, listen. That's why I try to be as active as I possibly can, right?
Right. Yeah. Which,
And
by the way, I mean, you need to sleep more.
yeah,
Like, you
I
know,
mean, I'm doing this at like what 5:30 a.m. So
bro.
I love this.
Yeah. So, guys, by the way, for the audience who don't know, the running joke is Warbucks will say goodnight in the workplace chats, and then like 5 minutes later, he'll just keep messaging, and it's like, dude,
Yeah,
go to sleep, dude.
5 minutes, 30 minutes later, it's like, oh, yo, we need to engage with this tweet. I was like, oh, I got you. 2 hours after I said goodnight, I was like, oh, I got
Oh,
you.
man. It's so
Uh,
yeah, man. No, I mean, really though, please try to get some sleep.
I will, I promise.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's great fun. I mean, if you're not enjoying it, then you won't do a good job. But whatever it
agree.
may be, what's that cheesy quote? Do what you love, and you never have to work a day in your life.
Yeah, and
So
it's funny because when I was a younger man, I'd be like, "Dude, y'all are lying. Like, no matter what, work is work, you know." And then I got into this space, and now I really do understand. I mean, I have such a good time working with Magic Eden, working within the Solana community. Like, I get it now. I didn't think it
mhm.
was possible. I thought it was all a farce, something people tell themselves to like make themselves feel better about where they are in life. But no, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. And you know, we're lucky. I'd say we're lucky. Like,
Yeah.
when people ask me what I do, and I'm like, you know, have you heard of Discord? Like, they're like, the fuck, dude. You know, it's very hard to explain to a non Web3 person. So, you
Yeah,
know,
no, I don't think my mom still knows what I do. Even with NFT, she's like, "Why are you buying and selling cartoons?"
yeah,
No,
yeah,
she
yeah.
she calls them cartoons.
Oh,
So
dude. Yeah, yeah. No, my family's the same way. Like anytime they just know I work in crypto, and so like anytime there's a Bitcoin bust or something crazy, my dad will send me the article, and he's like, "Is
dude,
this you guys?" And I'm like, "Dude, relax, dude. I'm not sketchy, bro." He thinks I'm sketchy, which is fair, but like
yeah.
I'm not that sketchy, you know. But yeah, no, it's funny because like I think like there's this like shared struggle with that, right? Like trying to convey to people who are not in this space that are in your life, like what you're doing, what you're spending so much time on, why you're always busy or unavailable. Like it's like, hey, like I'm so sorry, but like this space takes up a lot of my time, and like I love you, but I'm
Mhm.
not available for such and such,
Yeah.
like whatever. But I love that. It's such a shared struggle, and this is like cross chain, right? Like
Mhm.
everybody in the Web3 space has this struggle with like
Yeah.
trying to get people to
I
understand.
mean, if you really want to flex on someone and tell them what you do, it's like I manage digital financial assets, for an exchange, and I manage their audience, their clientele, which technically is the case, right?
Dude, I need
It's
it.
the
Okay.
sexy framing.
Yeah, no, I need to. Next time someone asks me, I need you to remind me what to say because, yeah, I'm
Put
very
that on your
bad at
LinkedIn header.
it. Yeah. I'm so bad at it. I'm like, I'm a Discord degen. Like, I don't know. How else do I
I
describe it?
manage the clientele
Now
for
I'm a
a
podcast
successful.
degen too, though. So clientele and a podcast degen and Discord degen, bro. Like, my resume is growing. It's sick. Oh
All
man.
trying new things.
So like, there's a young degen. He's witty. He's a great shit poster. What advice do you have, to someone like that getting their foot in the door into like a Web3 company or even like a Web3 project, right? Like an NFT project, a crypto project, coin project, like whatever. What advice would you give somebody? Because I'm curious, you have all this knowledge up there. Like I'm sure people would be happy to hear it.
Yeah. My 2 cents would be to stay very open-minded and to be very flexible and lenient, right?
So important.
So
Yeah.
even when I started off in Magic Eden, or kind of within this space, really. So before even joining Magic Eden, I operated a bit of a small marketing agency based in Asia. So I did help a couple of NFT collections launch in Europe and in Asia. So I have some experience within there too. But the thing is, it's so new and fresh. I'm going to go out on a limb and say nobody knows what the fuck they're doing.
True.
So
True.
if you think you are going to, operate with tunnel vision, I'll tell you that's, as much as we would all love to do that, to do one particular thing and
Yeah.
to specialize and focus, that's just not possible.
Right. No,
You
not
just
in this
have to,
space. Absolutely
yeah,
not.
you just
Yeah.
you just have to stay very, very agile. So no
Mhm.
matter what department you're looking at, or kind of like what specific field within a collection, like whether that's community management or the tech aspect, there's so many unknowns and developments that happen every day, if not every hour, if not every second, right? That you really just need to stay as agile as possible because you never know when something might happen. The next thing you know, the blockchain time somehow drifts off from real world time. I still don't
I
know
don't get it
how
either.
that happens,
I
right?
don't
I,
get
I
it
don't
either.
get it. So
Dude,
every time
yeah.
I get a tweet and I have to like explain it, I do like a little refresher course on
Yeah.
Google to
Yeah.
remind myself, and then I go off and explain it. But yeah, like there's just so many new things always happening every
Totally.
day that you just need to stay on your feet. And obviously, take some time out for yourself every now and then so you don't burn out. That's very, very important.
Mhm.
So when you see like there's no shit posting going on, I'm taking a day off,
Yeah.
um, which hasn't happened yet.
Right. Oh my gosh. Day off, dude. Oh, yeah.
I know, what's a day off? That's
I was
alien.
looking forward to the last one and I forgot what big crisis happened, but yeah, that went out the fucking
Yeah,
window.
that's just the nature of our jobs. And
Yeah.
honestly, it's difficult to even frame it as a job because we do enjoy it, and it
Totally.
brings, I can safely say I'm speaking on behalf of the entire marketing team, where we enjoy what we do,
Oh,
we
totally.
love one another,
Yeah. Totally.
and dude, I'm based in Asia. You're based in the States. I've never met you.
Yeah.
And, it's the first time we're calling one-on-one,
Yeah.
and it just feels like I've known you for a very long time
Dude,
because
we
that's just what
talk.
crypto does to you, right? The
Yeah.
NFT,
We talk all
it's
the
like,
time. I mean, I fucking
right?
love you, man. Like I loved you before this podcast.
That's just
Yeah.
what crypto does to you. 1 week in real time is what? At least 6 months
Oh
in crypto
gosh.
timeline. So
Generously.
the
Yeah.
learning curve is huge. You come in for one thing, but you'll do 1,000 other things. So that's, again, going back to your question, is be open-minded, be agile, stay on your feet, be flexible. So don't try to, constrict yourself in any way, shape, or form. be open to everything, try new things. You know, what's that song from Zootopia, Shakira's song? Oh, try everything, you know, just try everything, try it out. It's
I
5
know that.
a.m. Don't judge my references.
I know that song. I'm young.
Yeah.
I'm a very young,
Yeah.
cool guy.
Very young,
Yeah,
very hip.
Shakira, cool. No fucking clue what that is. Sounds like a good song.
Yeah.
No. And you know what? That's such good advice. And I'm so glad I asked the question, because like that's definitely such an important aspect. Like, this space is constantly growing. What would be defined as like a role is going to change. Like, even within the span of a month, it could change, right? It's funny because like the CM role definition, like each project that I was working with, like the roles and responsibilities would be different, and like we would just kind of like, yeah, fuck it, we'll do it, like no worries. But it's just funny because like there was really no set like, hey, this is what a CM does, and if you're interested in this, you should look into this role. It was more like, what can we do for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, even with Twitter, people think it's just shit posting and memes, but it's actually PR. You have to take care of the company's image. It's customer
Absolutely.
service. You have to respond to concerns. I'm a content writer because you have to push out content. I'm a meme lord because I have to post memes. And you just need to be I'm going to toot my own horn here and say you have to be a bit of a badass to like try and
Yeah,
ratio,
you're a fucking
Frank or
badass.
Ice Knife. Shout out to Ice Knife.
Big
How
ups.
have I not talked about him yet, man? Damn.
We love that guy. Big ups
Love
to
that
Ice.
guy.
Yeah, man. No, but yeah, no. Agreed, man. Agreed on all fronts, and hopefully, anybody in the audience who's looking to get into the space, or especially pertaining to marketing, like that is the advice you need to follow. Stay agile. Don't get constricted to a role. Explore, and try to make your way, make a footing in there. You mentioned days off, which I did want to kind of understand a little bit more personally. The MED. The ME intern, excuse me. I was going to say the ME degen. The fuck is wrong with me? It's almost time for us to leave. So anyway, fuck it. Yeah. So what does the Magic Eden intern do in his free time? With free time, right? The little free time. Yeah, the little free time that we get.
I have a cat. I love playing with my cat. I'm a cat person.
Shout out to kitten. Okay.
So I've posted him sometimes on Twitter. So that's my cat.
Oh shit! I actually didn't know. I thought that was like a stock image. Hey,
nah, Shitpo's my boy.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. I work out a lot. So back in high school, I used to be obese, like clinically obese.
Oh shit!
And the bullying and everything that gets to you. So going to the gym was my medicine. And since then, I've taken up Krav Maga as well. It's a sort of like is it Israeli MMA sort of self-defense?
Yeah.
So yeah, I engage in a lot of physical activity. A lot of people, contrary to popular belief, degens do work out.
Dude. Well, okay. No, glad you brought that up, because like I recently started attending IRL events. Let me tell you, the basement dweller like myth that people have about crypto people, it's just not true at all. Like everybody is like, they're functioning members of society and they're taking care of themselves. I was like, oh, I'm about to be with my people, bro. Just a bunch of sloppy fucking degens, and I get there and I'm like, dude, what
do
the
you mean?
fuck?
You look like a Greek god. Look at that gracious hair. You could be like a shampoo commercial.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. No, yeah. Contrary to popular belief, guys, Web3 people take care of themselves. I think I'm probably the last authentic degen. Like I don't. But I need to talk to you. I mean, I didn't know you had this transformation. I would love to make a similar transformation someday. I've said that for the better half of a decade, so maybe not, but we'll talk. Krav Maga, bro. Get my fucking, do a little fucking whoop-pow, fucking fighting and shit. That sounds fun.
You balance out the Solana gains with the IRL gains. It's just like,
well, I balance out my Solana losses with the IRL gains of weight. It's a very
that's a fun spin.
Oh man, no, it's fucked. But anyway, no, that's cool. Okay, so a lot of physical stuff. Nice. Is there anything like? I mean, I really am trying to understand how you unwind, because, and it would make sense that it's probably not a long list because you don't have a lot of time to unwind. But just curious, if, what else you got going on.
Yeah, for me, honestly, like working out does help relax me, and it's kind of like my time off. I usually watch a show or something while I'm on the treadmill.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I love watching TV shows.
I'm a team with Diablo. Diablo is my brother, by the way, another CM. We came to the company as a team, so we was a group of friends, and we started working together in the space. But Diablo and I are big TV show guys. Anything you're watching right now that
I
the
mean,
audience should check out?
I kind of name drop my favorite shows. So Billions, Suits, right? Yeah, I mean they were a little cheesy, but
Fucking Billions is sick,
don't
dude.
talk crap about Harvey Specter with me. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, love it. Suits
But
is sick too.
yeah, those are top of my list right now. I mean, they've always been at the top of my list. So
Nice, dude.
my all time favorite shows. But then there's also something more wholesome like Modern Family. You
Oh,
know,
it's great. Yeah, Modern Family's dope.
I love it. It's just
Yeah,
so heartfelt. What about you? What's your favorite?
bro.
What are you
So
watching?
I'm so fuck, dude. Okay,
It's a
all right, bro.
difficult question, isn't it?
No, it's not because I know the answer, but it's become a cliche. I just want to put it out there that Nifty of Magic Eden was the original Office fan. Original. I've been watching The Office. 2005 it came out, like 15 years. I mean, I'm like the original Office fan. I've run through the show from start to finish over 30 times. I think that's probably yeah. I'm like, it's to the point where I can like recite like, you know, what people are gonna say, and it's yeah. So big Office guy, but so comedy, right? Like Office, Parks and Rec, Community, like that kind of stuff, right? Dry humor. I'm also like a big sci-fi guy, so like The Expanse is good on Amazon if you're familiar with that. Even like some of the old school stuff like Stargate SG-1, fucking sick. You don't look the way I do by like not watching a lot of TV shows though. So like I've seen fucking everything. So the running joke is like when a new TV show comes out, my friends will just text me like, "How is it?" And generally, I've seen it. It's pretty fucked up, but it's like I'll binge through shit, man.
Have you
good.
watched the latest Obi-Wan show?
Dude,
I mean, to try it out.
I'm not like a. This is gonna get me in trouble. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy.
You're a shows guy and sci-fi.
Yeah, but not so like I enjoyed Star Trek, right? Like I've seen a lot of Star Trek shows.
Okay, Star Trek Maxi.
Yeah. Well, not even though. I was open to Star Wars. I just could never get into it. Oh, I saw what is the fucking young Padawan? What is that shit called? Mandalorian. Mandalorian was great.
Oh, the Mandalorian.
It was good. So I do want to give Obi-Wan a chance if it's you know in a similar vein to Mandalorian. But all the other Star Wars stuff I just could never get into. But I will check out Obi-Wan. Have you been watching it?
No. I just finished the Moon Knight, so not long ago.
That was good.
Which was beautiful show. I loved
absolutely.
it. Right?
Well filmed.
Yeah, well filmed. And I want to try out Obi-Wan next. So once the FUD dies down and I have more time, then I'll check out Obi-Wan.
Yeah, man. Yeah, guys. So everybody listening, you know, give our guy some break. Give him a break. You know, like don't get in Twitter just yelling and hollering. Just take it easy for a few days. Let the man catch up on some shows, catch up on some sleep. You know, just be kind. Be kind to our intern, who we've now humanized very much with this podcast.
Yes. This is mildly doxed.
Mildly doxed. No, I love the air of mystery. That was a big concern for me because, like, you know, I used to be in Discord, just tons of dick jokes and you know, like just super degen raunchy stuff. That's kind of been my brand now. But I was like, dude, if they see like the guy who's making these jokes, like, is it? I don't know, dude. They're just gonna tell me to fuck off, like short fuck, which you guys can't tell, but I'm short, so it's like you know, I was like,
short. Man, you're down to earth. You're humble.
Right. My short kings, you know, big ups. No. So yeah, it was this funny thing. I was like, man, I'm gonna lose this like air of mystery, but totally worth it. I like being out from the shadows. I look forward to welcoming you when you decide to unmask yourself
one day
I'm sure. Yeah no,
perhaps at NFT NYC. If you want to see who I am, show up to NFT NYC.
Yes, show up to the degen yacht party, boys. Like, we're gonna be out there.
So pumped. I'm so pumped for the yacht party.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I'll be there. It'll be nice to meet you IRL.
Finally.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Dude, this has been a blast. We're almost at time. I'm again so glad we got to like revamp this podcast with you being our first guest. I'm really excited to see the response once we post this. Like, I'm sure people are going to be hyped to get to know you a little bit better. And yeah, man, no, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
I don't know if you had a choice. I don't know if you could have said no just because we're on the same team. But
yeah,
thanks.
Fair enough. All right, bro. Love you. Thanks, it was great fun.
I love you too. Yeah, man. No, it was a great talk. And